Ladies and gentlemen, today we go through how to find the best real Dynasty trades you can pull off right now. We're going to be utilizing a couple of tools. Flock Fantasy, of course. These rankings are by experts. They're letting us use the site. They're nice enough to let us do that. Check it out for free. Now, this site right here, the rankings are pretty dang solid, pretty realistic. Keep Trade Cut. We'll have a video on Keep Trade Cut in the next up and coming days. The rankings here are worse, but there's a trade calculator here you can use for free. And Keep Trade Cut is the best way I like to send screenshots. Oh, look, this trade's fair. I don't rely on these rankings. I rely on my own expert knowledge and my own understanding of value. But I sure as heck, if you're telling me I can go ahead and get Brian Thomas Jr., who is my favorite buy low candidate currently for a mid to late first, like if we just type in 2026 late first, wham, bam, thank you, ma'am, we're close. So if you need to add a first and a third, a first and a scrub to go get, like, who's a scrub, man? Who's somebody that sucks? Let's just think. Third round players. Cooper Kupp. Sayonara, sucker. You're trash. You're gone. You can see that actually did nothing. So you're going to have to add something a little bit more substantial. Keep Trade Cut's not that stupid. But this is a guy where Brian Thomas Jr. is probably the main person I want you to focus on here. BTJ, 17 points per game in his rookie year. 2025, let's chalk it up to injury. Every time I saw BTJ on the field, which was rare because he was banged up, he was playing through something, in my opinion, he was dropping passes. Dropping passes. What you like to see is that his underlying metrics weren't actually terrible. Like, he was still getting targets. His target volume was pretty similar, which I like to see, even though people are going to say, oh, Jacoby Myers this, Jacoby Myers that. Listen, Jacoby Myers is 30 years old. Relax. BTJ will have a major rebound in my humble opinion. So BTJ is the first buy low target. So here's how you want to go about facilitating some of your dynasty trades. Again, real dynasty trades. Let's get something that can actually happen. Bijan Robinson is a guy that I think you should go out there and buy. It's going to be hard. In your league, there's a decent chance nobody, just literally nobody, wants to get rid of Bijan. I don't blame you. To get Bijan, you're going to have to tier off of somebody. Like, you're going to have to either go from Daniels to Bijan, which I think is an amazing trade. Like, if we just went to Keep Trade Cut, which this is a different set of rankings. So if Keep Trade Cut is actually, like, has any brain, like, let's just throw in the players here. Let's just see what it's telling us. I'd rather have Bijan. I mean, yeah, like, you're like, it's actually, it's correct. This is a correct value assessment from Keep Trade Cut. So I wouldn't use this tool, and I would just screenshot this site. Hey, buddy, take a look. I'll trade you Daniels for Bijan, and I'll be done with it. But let's do another scenario. Lamar Jackson and Jaden Daniels. If you can get Lamar Jackson from Jaden Daniels, I highly recommend it. Why? Jaden Daniels' rookie year was very, very solid. 21 points per game in 2025. And keep in mind, if we look at that 2025, if you look back at the 2024 season, he was kind of like Dallas figured him out. I don't know. It wasn't my favorite overall season with Daniels. There were some highs, some lows, some volatility. Now, 2025, it seemed like defense was figuring him out a little bit more. Everything was lower, and he was injured. The health concerns are starting to pile up. He's about four years younger than Lamar. That's a good thing. Now, Lamar, he has health concerns of his own. This guy misses time as well, but he misses time less frequently. And what I like to see here is Daniels has one 20-point season. Lamar Jackson has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 seasons. Every season he's played except for 2025 has been an elite season. And his rookie year doesn't count. You don't count the rookie year. Well, I know we are for Daniels because it's a positive, but you don't count this bad rookie year back in 2018. So Lamar Jackson just has a lot more stability in my eyes. So just take a look. Like, what is Lamar's value here? I would expect it to be more. And see how it's similar? It's less. So this is a real dynasty trade. You can go out there right now and go get, like, tier down from Daniels to go get Lamar Jackson, and you'll be tearing up, and you could potentially work in some extras in the process. So that's a high upside trade right there. Trey McBride to Brock Bowers is a pivot I would recommend a lot of people consider. You know, they're close right here on the Flock Fantasy site. Let's see what their values are in Keep Trade Cut, and I'll explain the rationale behind why these guys are good pivots. So their value is pretty similar. Trey McBride's slightly above, just like the site. Here's what I think you should do in your Dynasty League. If you are a contending team, see you later, Bowers. Go get Trey McBride. If you are a rebuilding team, see you later, McBride. Go get Bowers. Why? Bowers is just as athletic and 3 years younger. I love Bowers more in the next 4 or 5 years. Now, you play Dynasty in 3-year outlooks. So Trey McBride, he has less question marks, although the Cardinals QB situation is not a guarantee. But McBride, I think, will produce more in the next year or two in the short term. So that's a pivot I like making, and I've seen a lot of people be making in their Dynasty leagues. Garrett Wilson is a guy I would tear down from. If you have Garrett Wilson or Ibuka, Ibuka is another guy I would tear down from. Too many question marks, especially if you're a contending team. I would get rid of both of those guys and trade for somebody that we know for sure is going to be producing next season. So Garrett Wilson, who can you realistically get for Garrett Wilson? This is where we're going to go. You got ChatGPT right there. This is where we're going to go to the site. And we're going to just look at the overall Dynasty rankings. This is the fastest way to get a read. Like, this is the best free tool, along with the Flop Fantasy, of course, to just see what your picks are worth. Let's take a look. Garrett Wilson is worth a 2026 early first. Let's just say the 103. The 103 this year, you're going to have a choice between Carnell Tate, Mekhi Lemon, and Jordan Tyson. Those guys are going to be top 10 draft picks, Tyson and Tate, most likely. One of them might be top 15, top 20 for sure. Lemon's going to be a first-round draft pick. So if you can trade Garrett Wilson for the 102 or 103, I like it. If you can trade Ibuka for the 102, the 103, I also like that as well. So those are two more guys I would look to tier off of in your Dynasty League. Those are real trades you can go make happen right now. Now, let me just say this. Another tip for your Dynasty team is have your player's nickname set to the value you would want to accept in a trade. So if you have Garrett Wilson, change his nickname and just say early first. And if somebody sends you an early first for him, you know, there you go. You got to advertise the deals right here, because a lot of people are going to say, listen, the person that has Garrett Wilson in my league would never trade him for an early first. One, you're not going to know unless you try. Two, okay, then pivot to somebody else. There's 12 people in the league, man. 11 other guys in your league have players, and I'm sure somebody in there you can capitalize on the value of. Bucky Irving's a hard case right here, whether or not you want to hold or sell Bucky Irving. Trevor Lawrence is interesting. Jordan Love is interesting. Baker Mayfield. We're going to wrap this video up. Just the last trade example of the vid with the quarterback situation. If you're in this tier of quarterbacks, Jordan Love, Baker Mayfield, I would recommend trading up. Even Jared Goff, I would tier up from any of those three players. We'll talk about what you have to give up in addition to them to go get a guy in the next tier. One of my favorite quarterback trade targets right now that I think is undervalued is Caleb Williams. Like, if you can trade Bo Nix, Herbert, like Herbert is the best overvalued player I see in these rankings. If you can trade Herbert for Dart, like, let me tell you, man, you are making a money decision. Justin Herbert does not have the same rushing upside nearly that we've seen from Dart. Like, Herbert is maybe the most overvalued player right now. I am all for capitalizing on selling Justin Herbert's value. I think Bo Nix is a hold candidate, but Dart, like, if you can go get Dart, yes, or Caleb Williams. Caleb Williams is a great guy to tier up to. Brock Purdy I would tier down from. But really, I would look to move on from Love, Mayfield, or Goff and tier up to a guy like, Jackson Dart, or tier up to a guy like Caleb Williams, where their value, in my eyes, Williams and Jackson Dart, I think we see these guys raise up another tier, and they could end up in A tier by the end of 2026, rising up 20 spots in the rankings. Let's just say you have to trade 2 firsts for Caleb Williams right now. I could see him being, 3 firsts by the end of next season. I hope those were a good couple of trade targets, couple of trade examples. Let me know if you guys like the video format, really just going through some of the rankings in general and talking about some deals, some prices, and whatnot. We'll have more videos that are more specific with specific trade targets and prices in mind. Today was just more of a general video. Kind of wanted to give you guys a sense of how I would go about finding somebody I like. Oh, I like Caleb Williams. And then I would go look in here and I would say, all right, What is Caleb Williams' price in here? It's 7,200. Okay, how many first-round picks do I need to add in here before it starts being fair? I got to add a first in there. Do I have to add a second first in? Does it have to be a late first, et cetera, et cetera? And then you can see, are you going to be relatively close on these deals? The other thing to do, and the best thing that I like doing, is checking your team's value. Because you can make the trade offers. Like, I have Harold Fannin on my team, which, speak of buy low candidates, go buy Harold Fannin. You can check in here, like, what I want to tier from Fannin to Odunze, what I want to tier from Fannin to Judkins. It really is just to get your mental juices going to see what you could potentially be, targeting or tiering up or down to with your league mates. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. See you boys in the next one.